All right. Illini Basketball Podcast, episode 149, February 23rd, 2023. So 022323. Thank you. Coming off of a win, I suppose, a win that's gonna, hurt your metrics, I guess, since you didn't beat Minnesota by 50. I mean, I don't know. It's just
Another
whatever.
garbage time three for Illinois not to win by double digits, but
It's at least 3 or 4 times this year.
yeah, but it's still a win, and it was a get right game. It seemed like a couple guys seemed to get going again, which is nice to see. Steve, what's going on? How you doing today? Crypto is here early. Sorry that we are late like usual. So at least we're not 4 hours late this time.
Good.
But get right game. So we picked a couple of get right guys for our Pogs. I went with Jaden Epps. Wasn't a podium game for him because Matthew Meyer scored 22, but Jaden Epps had a really good night. 29 minutes, 6 of 11. He was 4 of 6 from 3. So finally got his stroke back from the 3-point line. 1 of 2 from the line, 17 points, 1 rebound, 1 steal, 1 turnover. It came out in the second half, made the first 8 points for Illinois coming out of this second half. Did I say first half first time?
No, you said second half both times.
Okay, good. Because it felt like in my mind I said it wrong. So, but yeah, his threes haven't been falling. I kind of went back and looked at the numbers. He was 17 of 70 dating back to December 2nd, which was 24%. And that was after starting the first 7 games at 40%. So, and then the 4 games where the 4 of this game is more than he had in his last 6 games combined. So it was nice to see him see the ball go through. You could tell he was playing with a little bit more confidence with that 3 falling. He had that nice breakaway with the double pump layup. Matthew Meyer, after the game, they asked him about it. And Matthew said, quote, "It's so great to see guys go on little runs like that. Just blew up the game and takes so much pressure off of us. I tell him, just like I tell RJ, just keep shooting. You're going to find your shot. I just believe in him so much, and he's going to be a really good player in this league." Underwood also added, "Nice to see Jaden Epps get going again from 3. We know he is a great shooter. He makes them all the time." And Underwood also thought that he was timid in the first half. And he said that he never wants to see Jaden Epps timid. And sometimes he plays too cautious, that he wants to set up offenses. He called it putting the parking brake on. But he also said that he's fast as anyone in the world, and he has to use his instincts more. More just play with the flow of the game, let it come to you. And Jaden, he took advantage of guys going under ball screens. And if he can continue to shoot, I'm not saying he's going to go 4 or 6 every game, but if he can continue to shoot at a higher rate than 24% or whatever he was the last 6 games, that makes this team that much better. So it was nice to see Epps bounce back, and also your player of the game bounce back.
Yeah, I do think that there were probably 4 options for player of the game in this game.
I think so.
Meyer and Hawkins probably also in the discussion. But I think when a guy, is shooting 24% from 3 and he's been bad for most of the season, and he has a game like this where he needed to play a lot of minutes and he needed to be involved in the offense. He kind of played like a bit of a Ty Rodgers role in some spots in this game. Definitely rebounded pretty hard. RJ Melendez, 32 minutes, 4 of 8 from the field, which I guess 2 of them were dunks.
Dunks, yeah.
Then he had a 3.
3. I don't know. I can't remember.
Maybe he made a layup, which would be an upset. 1 for 4 from 3, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 1 block, 1 turnover. First career double-double. Also, Illinois from the free throw line was horrific in this game.
Yeah.
And it was more than just danger.
Yeah.
So
another, brutal night from the free throw line. 14 of 26 from the line. So they were 10 of 26 from 3. So they only made 4 more free throws.
they did their best Minnesota impression. Minnesota, the worst free throw shooting team in the country, and Illinois was like, watch us.
Yeah, I feel like
RJ,
that's how the last game was too. They were both just bricking
yeah,
free throws the whole game.
doesn't help when Danger just gets drilled every time he goes in the paint. Minnesota has done it to him more than anybody, I think.
Yeah.
RJ's now 20 for 83 from deep. So that's given the numbers I'm thinking about here, he might be like 3 for his last like 12. So he's starting to get hot.
Yeah. I mean, do you call 1 for 4 like a good game? I guess.
He made one.
The 1-3 he made, it was a broken layup.
What's the rule there? Like
if
he throws a layup up, doesn't touch anything, then gets it back, and then just flips up a 3.
In college basketball, if it's a shot, it's not a travel. So
I mean,
they deemed it a shot that way he could get it. And I mean, it was a good 3 too. I mean, it was contested. He had to get it off. One of the other threes he took, I think he thought the shot clock was running out, and it actually wasn't. So he took a pretty contested 3 for one of them. But yeah, it was just nice to see, him bounce back. And I think the way he played defense, I thought he played really good defense against Battle. I texted you yesterday. I didn't realize Battle had 31 points. Illinois allows another season high to a player. But I thought that they played defense against him well. I think he hit 2 garbage time threes, got 6 more there. But other than that, I thought they played good defense on him. I thought RJ was a big part of that.
Yeah, I mean, Jamison Battle has been struggling this year. He was really good for them last year, but in the month of February, he had 13 points on February 1st against Rutgers, and then he had 3 straight games with single-digit points. He had 9 against Penn State, 9 against Iowa, and 5 against Maryland. And then after the Penn State game, he has 31 against Illinois, and then yesterday he had 8 against Maryland. So I don't even know what you do about that. He's not had that many games with
it just seems like, Illinois is kind of like, we let one guy get his. I mean, they force a lot of tough twos.
He made a lot of good shots.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they want. So if he makes them, he makes them. Luckily, Illinois' offense was better. 5 guys, all 5 starters were in double digits.
This is also the ultimate Garcia and Battle are going to score, and then you hold the rest of their team to 20 points.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And Ola Joseph, I mean, he's a lot better than he was when Illinois played him the first time.
Minnesota has good freshmen. I think Minnesota, if they can keep Payne and Ola Joseph and Hindley and Carrington around, I think maybe 2 years from now, depending on the transfers and other guys they get, they could be good. The big problem in this era of college basketball is keeping those guys around.
Yeah.
But I think Ola Joseph could be like one of the best wings in the Big Ten. He's good.
Yeah, he's really good. RJ was podium game afterwards, so he had a few things to say. So, quote, all the coaches are telling me to get on the glass, rebounds, play hard on the defensive side, and don't worry about offense because it's going to flow your way. And just like that, I went after the boards and found my rhythm. So it's nice that he's still taking that approach to, play hard on defense, get rebounds, offense happens. That's the reason why he was in at the end of the Indiana game is for his defense. So he continues to use his length, and if he can get rebounds and get that going, then if he gets a few baskets, he gets a few baskets. The thing is, RJ doesn't have to score on this team, which is nice. So RJ said, quote, it's been a little rough, but having Matt, coach, and our leaders and every single teammate, it helps out a lot. After I missed a shot to go into overtime in Indiana, he, talking about Matt, came up to me and said it was a great shot. Underwood talked about that right after that play, how Matthew Meyer came up, gave him a hug. And Underwood kind of talked about this a little bit. He said, I was really excited for RJ. I told him before the game, rebound. I'm sure he said rebound 3 more times, but I didn't write him down. It is really cool when you coach in a place of 15,000 and have seen a young man struggle. When 15,000 have seen a young man struggle, when that 3 went in and in the eruption that happened, that's pretty cool. I'm going to tell you, it's about a hug. It's about the hug. We can believe in them as coaches and tell them that we believe in them, and that doesn't end the struggle. But the play Matt Meyer made at the end of the game in Indiana, and when he missed it, Matt Meyer gave that kid a hug. That's belief, and that's what you know. That's when you know your teammates believe in you. So Underwood was really big on the hug. I think he said that he talked about it in the post game of this game, like to the team. So Matthew Meyer believing in RJ apparently is why RJ is stepping up now. So Meyer said, quote, "I knew he was locked in when he went over and snagged a rebound over me. When he is rebounding like that, he's going to get easies." Matthew Meyer said easies about 17 times in the postgame, and I got them all for you guys. So just be ready for it. And he makes everything a lot easier for us. The media then was, I don't even know what media guy asked RJ how he didn't go into a dark place when he was struggling. Which
Always about the negativity with these
was
guys.
awful. I cannot believe that they asked him that. So Underwood said, quote, "You got to find your way. I did everything. I ripped his butt. I loved him. I hugged him. Anybody that knows anybody that is a shooter knows sometimes it's hard." So
I don't know that. I'm an elite shooter.
23
for 40 from the free throw line in Minnesota against 2 games.
Yeah, not good.
It's hard to be worse against the worst free throw shooting team in the country. Like Minnesota was 60% in this game. Illinois was 53%. Now, I do think Minnesota might have been worse in the last game they played because I didn't really look at that. But, yeah, Illinois 64%, Minnesota 60% in the first game.
Yeah.
Not good, not good. And you gotta think about the fact that Dane Danger is let's see, let's do some numbers here. 5 for 11 against Minnesota from the free throw line. So he's missed 6 right there.
Yeah.
4 for 9 in this game, which I love how the one time that he makes both is when he just looked like he was gonna get hurt and be out of the game.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We got some comments here. MJ says huge win tonight. We'll see. MJ also said not quite 15 shots like I wanted for RJ, but I love it. Hopefully Monkey is off his back. Yeah, I hope it is. I mean, he really didn't have the greatest offensive game in this. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it helped him with his confidence. Steve, what's going on? He says, now that Coleman is attacking the paint some, this team is looking more complete. I agree. Coleman seems more aggressive. He talked about it a couple games ago, how he isn't like that until the first media or second media, but it seems like Coleman is getting more aggressive. Coleman played 36 minutes, 6 of 12 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3, 1 of 2 from the line, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover. He had 16 points. I could do without the step back threes still, but it seems like Coleman is more comfortable getting threes off the dribble now. I mean, we talked about the game where he went 6 of 8 or whatever. What did he do? 7 of 9 from 3.
I don't think that ever happened.
Well, he made a bunch one game, right?
Yeah, it was game. He did against Wisconsin. Wisconsin was 6 for 9.
Yeah, 6 of 9. I'm
so
close.
You just lied.
I just lied to the internet. So, but yeah, that game we talked about how Coleman needs to take set shots. In this game, he seemed a lot better off the dribble, or the one in transition looked really nice. So, Coleman I don't like 8 from him, but I guess we'll take it because Underwood wants
the offense was kind of stagnant there for a little bit.
There was times where they were standing around. I mean, there were times where they crossed half court and there might have been 25 seconds on the shot clock, and they literally it looked like they were just standing around yelling at each other to move, and nobody was still moving. So,
are you comfortable with the fact that Coleman Hawkins is taking 111 threes this year?
No. What's his percentage?
28.
No.
Meyer's taking 155.
Nobody should shoot 100 threes if they're 28%.
Meyer, 155 threes, 37%.
Yeah.
Actually 36.8, but come on, that's 37.
Yeah. I was kind of disappointed with Illinois' offense. Like when Garcia came back in and he had 3 fouls or 4 fouls. I think he ended with 4 fouls. Well, no, he ended with 3, but he had 3. And instead of, posting Coleman up or trying to get another foul on him, they wouldn't run anything inside to him. So kind of annoys me that they didn't attack the guy that is maybe their best player. Battle and Garcia are kind of a toss up on who's
Garcia's
better. Yeah.
Battle last season was better, but obviously Battle hasn't had the same numbers with Garcia there now. Last year's team, I don't know how this year's team for Minnesota, I think last year's team was so much worse on paper, but they won 4 games in the Big Ten. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
They were older, though, I guess, last year.
ACG's here. What's going on? He said, played Jamison Battle over 9.5 points. No surprise he didn't get it. Just another goofball to drop a career high on Illinois. Yeah. So you said he had 8 last night?
How would you rank the career high players against Illinois this year? How would you rank the performances and, the impressiveness? You have Battle 31, Perkins 32, TJJ 35 or whatever. And then you have the other one. Is it 4? It's at least 4. Who the hell?
4 or 5. Pickett
41. Yeah.
Yeah. I would probably go TJJ, Pickett, Perkins,
Battle. Yeah.
Because again, I didn't feel like Battle at 31.
He had a lot of tough threes late.
It wasn't like you knew that TJJ and Pickett and Perkins were dominating you. It didn't feel like Battle dominated Illinois.
Because it's Minnesota and
I guess it's because really Illinois wins too. Yeah. Jay's here. Jay, what's going on? He says huge game tonight. He also says Hawkins to me is the wild card on this team. If he shows up and aggressive offensively, this team is pretty good. You can always count on Matt and TSJ. Yeah. Hawkins has always been the wild card. That's why everybody's like, either you're on the Hawkins train or you're a Hawkins skeptic, and it doesn't mean you're a hater. You're just a skeptic. Okay. Zach says he seems so desperate to show he has NBA range, makes everything at the college line. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know about that. I think when the noise is a little bit quieter for Coleman, I think that's when he's been pretty sneaky good for the last 4 games now. Since Iowa, where he was 0 for 7 from the field, he had 18 points, made 8 shots against Rutgers, 12 points, made 5 shots against Penn State, and then 3 for 3 against Indiana with 6 points. Didn't even take a 3 in that game, and this game made 6 shots and had 16 points. So quietly good. I think he's been honestly. I think if you go from after the Indiana game the first time, I think every single game since then, except for Iowa, he's been pretty good. So
yeah,
I think when the noise is a little bit quieter.
Yeah, and again, it depends on his aggression level, and he's definitely been a lot more aggressive lately than he was the first half of the season, half plus. So ACG says he saw Brandon Pajimski was mocked at 26th. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if he puts up those numbers.
2024 draft, so
Oh, next year. Hi, Alexis.
Bronny James is 10th in that draft. That's embarrassing. Bronny James is not even a top 30 recruit coming out of high school. I wonder why he's 10th. Weird. Maybe something going on there, huh? As Ant Wright tweeted yesterday, nepotism. LeBron nepotism. How about that? But anyway, yeah. I'm just looking at Pajimski since we were talking about him here. Yeah, he's had a good season, good season. He don't look now, but Pajimski couple 30 bombs in the last month. Had 30 against Loyola Marymount, 38 against Pacific. Don't look now.
As a freshman, when he wasn't playing, they were predicting him to go in the draft this year. I'm pretty sure
he's shooting 45% from 3.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's the short dreads from Pajimski. I think he took him out. I don't think he's wearing dreads anymore.
He's been doing some weird stuff with the hair. I'm trying to find. He's got to be like top 20 in 3-point percentage, right? He's 34th. Okay. I don't know how many people are shooting that well from three. I guess they're mostly mid-major guys.
Zach says Perkins was the most dreadful to give up. I agree.
Yeah.
ACG says Pickett #1. I mean, 41 points. I can see that too. ACG says Illinois beats Northwestern tonight as long as the free throw margin isn't 40-10 like last game. Fair. That's
but Illinois really hasn't learned how to not foul since then.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing.
I think the officiating crew might tell us who's going to win tonight.
Yeah.
Nobody loves being more front and center than these douchebag Big Ten refs. Ben 10. Jesus.
The Ben 10. All right, Matthew Meyer. 34 minutes, 7 for 14, 2 of 7 from 3, 6 of 9 from the free throw line, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers. First play of the game gets fouled on a 3. Shocker. Makes 2 of 3. So
he made 1 of 3 against Indiana, right?
Yeah. But then he also paid it back later in the game because he fouled somebody else.
And then also Brian Butch, who sounds exactly like Dan Dockich on the broadcast, being like, oh, I hope Underwood sees how that could be a foul when he watches the film back. Like, I don't think Underwood's going to care about that play when he watches the film back.
Yeah. Yep. I thought that 1-3 he took was great. Like he was halfway around the other way. He like dribbled out, turned around, shot it. Underwood talked about that as like, it doesn't matter if his feet are facing the basket. His release is so good that it can go in no matter where he's faced.
This was a very Matthew Meyer game where he's not like, usually on the road is when Matthew Meyer steps in and dominates. Like against Iowa, he was great. Against Wisconsin, he was great. Against Indiana, he was good. This was a very Matthew Meyer, like not at his best, but still pretty typical performance from what we've seen this year. So that's kind of why I'm like, Illinois goes on the road to Purdue. I mean, who on Purdue is going to guard Matthew Meyer? I'm just saying they might sneak that one out if Meyer has a typical Meyer road game because, you know, he might be one of the best road players in the Big Ten. I mean, he had 24 at Indiana. He had 21 at Iowa. He had, 26 at Wisconsin. He had 17 in that first Northwestern game he hit a 3 early in the second half against Northwestern. Illinois was up like 5. So that game wasn't completely out of control. He also had 16 against Missouri. He's the only guy that showed up against Missouri. So if you look back on this Illinois season, I don't care how it ends, and you say that Matthew Meyer wasn't their best player, then I think that you are high. Just saying. And I've been on him all season, so props to me. Really, is my thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like with TJ Shannon being out right now, the last 2 games, I think that it's really, I want to say changed his game because it hasn't changed a lot, but he's going more interior too. He's hurting people from inside and outside, and he's really had to step up to kind of continue the role of Illinois' leading scorer, which he has the ability to do that. So
he's pretty much been playing lights out, scoring double figures every game with the exception of 2 since the New Year. So, and he had some good games. I mean, obviously the Texas game is probably his signature game. It's not the game where he scored the most points, but he was literally 8 for 10 from the field and had 21. Yeah. So,
yeah. Matt, of course, was on the podium with his 22 points, and he was asked about the last 2 games without Terrence Shannon, and he said, quote, "We have had to pick up a lot of slack. He gets so many easy points in transition, so we know we have to be more crisp on offense because we're not going to get so many easies like that. He is also a great defender. He just does everything." And then he said, quote, "I'm getting more plays ran for me, so I'm getting a lot more easies." He is all over the easies.
Good.
Steve says, which guard from Northwestern gets a career high tonight?
You know what? Boo Booey. I'll go Boo Booey. I'm
also going to go with Boo Booey, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Deej will probably go nuts for a career high.
One of the 2.
ACG says Coleman going 20, 10, and 5 tonight. 5 turnovers or 2, 7, and 3. No in between.
I think there's too many rebounders in this team for him to get 10 boards. In terms of guys who are trying, especially if RJ's doing it,
yeah, especially the way that they're attacking.
Ty Berry might go for a career high though.
Tonight. I did see. It was nice, Michigan State had their first home game, beat Indiana, but I guess Izzo's big thing was Illinois had one offensive rebound against Indiana, and he goes, "Don't be like Illinois." So glad we could get them up. But
fair. I think Illinois did kind of probably lose that Indiana game because of that. Like they kind of, didn't. Well, I guess is he talking about the first game?
I don't know. What did they not? They didn't have one. I don't know. Maybe they had one in the first half
against Indiana.
Yeah.
Illinois had 26 offensive rebounds in the 2 games against Indiana.
Okay, well, I don't know what he was talking about.
He is taking unwarranted shots.
Jay says, "You guys doing a live stream?" No, I got to work, and then I got pool league. Got my last night of pool league tonight, so no watch party tonight. But there will be watch party soon. I don't know when. When's our next watch party?
Purdue.
All right, Dane Danger, 23 minutes, 4 of 8 from the field. 4 of 9 from the line, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers. I know Illinois' offense runs through Dane Danger at the elbow, but man, I hate it. Seems like he thinks that he needs to penetrate a lot from the elbow instead of actually running the offense. So, but it works sometimes. It doesn't work a lot of times. He got in the post a couple times, got stuck on the baseline. I think that's where his 2 turnovers came from. But he's still got the chicken wing. It's not getting called. I feel like that's going to kill Illinois in the tournament because you're going to have refs call that against him. He took a hard fall going up for a dunk. Underwood in the radio post game, I guess. Said that's what happens when you go up on 1 foot in this league. So Underwood also said, quote, "Gonna have to replace the wood there. There's an indention there." And then Underwood was asked about Dane about his free throw shooting because Dane drew 10 fouls this game. Of course, he went 4 of 9 like we talked about. And they asked Underwood, how he felt about that and, if he trusts him or whatever. And Underwood said, quote, "I don't worry about that for a second. I guess I worry about that in the last 2 minutes of a close game, maybe. He missed a few, but I think he has been making them at a pretty good clip the last 3 or 4 games." Can you look up that number? Thank you.
Yep.
Dane's a gamer, takes the hard fall, steps up there and makes 2. Dane will make them when the game's on the line. Underwood.
4 games going into this one, he was 8 for 12.
There you go. It's way better.
1 for 3 against Indiana, 3 for 3 against Penn State, 1 for 2 against Rutgers, 3 for 4 against Iowa. He hasn't had that many free throws in a game since Bethune-Cookman. He was 6 for 11.
Yeah,
in that game.
Jay agrees. He hates elbow for Dane set up on the block. Yeah, I know that's how Underwood runs his offense, but I feel like you got to post up Dane more. Problem is nobody can get him the ball when he gets it in there. I don't know why my dog's
Dane throws the best reverse passes. Like you want teams to or you want them to get it into him, maybe bounce it in there in some spots. But Dane always throws the bounce pass back out. It looks like it's going to get stolen, but it never does.
Yeah.
So he's got that going.
Yeah. Steve says you can't run the spread with a guy on the post. I agree that you can't run the spread, but there's got to be times where I don't know. I just don't trust Dane to initiate the spread offense. Put Coleman there. I don't care, but I don't know. Go ahead. I got to figure out what my dog's doing.
Yeah, certainly. I'm going to go into Ty Rogers here. Ty Rodgers, 17 minutes, 4 rebounds, 3 on the offensive glass, 4 fouls, which he fouls a lot. What can you do? He averaged over 4.5 shots a game the last 5, never took an attempt in this game. Offense was a little bit different. I do think that if you look at Ty Rodgers' games in the last month, you usually see a lot more offense and you see fouling. We saw one of those things in this game, and we didn't see it in other games. I think rebounding is there. Obviously, had 3 on the offensive glass. Coming off of a game where he took 7 shots, he took 0 in this one. I would say that, going into this game in the last 5, like you wrote down, he had taken a lot of 23 shots in the last 5 games. So I don't know. I don't think that obviously they didn't need him to score in this game, but maybe nice to go up for one.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that he didn't shoot at all, but the bench really didn't shoot at all. Goody took 1 shot and Sincere took 2 shots. So I don't know. You take his 3 offensive rebounds. He got some BS foul calls on him. I feel like Ty gets more BS foul calls on him than anybody else on Illinois right now. So, but he goes out there and does the things that he needs to do, and he doesn't care if he has to. He doesn't have to get his. You got guys on this team that you can tell sometimes they want to get theirs. Meyer does it a lot. Meyer, they'll be ready to run an offense, and Meyer says, "Just give me the ball and clear out." He's earned that right. I'm not saying that he can't do that. But Ty Rodgers is shit. He's like the definition of team player. So, Jay says Coleman is the perfect guy at the elbow instead of out high by the 3-point line 24/7. I agree. Like if you want to run the spread, run Coleman at the elbow. Jay says I thought Goody was a better defender. He's been getting abused inside. He's small. I know. I mean, I don't know. I didn't think Luke played a bad game. Luke had 17 minutes, 0 for 1, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Underwood talked about it after the game. He said, quote, hard game for Luke because they don't help much, and we are going to see one on Thursday that helps a lot. So he's going to need to make some shots. So expect 7 threes from Luke Goody.
Yep.
7-3 shot by Luke Goody. So and that's he's kind of still getting back. Underwood was asked about Luke. He said Luke's full go. He can play as many minutes as he wants or he needs them for. So he's full go. Sincere played 12 minutes, 0 for 2. He took a 3. If I remember right, it wasn't a very good one. 1 for 2 from the line, got the only bench points for Illinois with his 1 free throw. 1 point, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 1 turnover. I mean, Sincere, kind of all the bench guys are role players. They know what they need to do. Sincere does take some shots that you kind of question, but that's all right. And I think that this is what we should probably expect moving forward. Once Terrence Shannon comes back, I don't know if he's going to be back tonight. Underwood is kind of keeping that under wraps.
He won't be back. Confirmed per source.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just guessing. I don't think he'll be back.
Underwood still said he was day-to-day. Even if he was back, Underwood is not going to tell anybody until they come out on the court. I can tell you that right now. But I think this is kind of what you said. Sincere, 10 to 15 minutes. Rodgers and Goody, 15 to 20 minutes. When RJ is on the bench, I expect probably 20 to 25 out of him. So this is going to be the rotation, and get used to it. ACG says the sources trust me, bro. So Jay said Harris hasn't been getting the steals and breakaway layups he was getting earlier in the season. Maybe it was the competition. I mean, how many steals for breakaways does Sincere have? Maybe 3 or 4. It's not like he has a ton. He plays really good on-ball defense. he's not. I don't feel like Sincere's the kind of anticipator defense. I feel like he's more of a body up defender. He doesn't. I feel like Terrence Shannon gets more of those than Sincere ever has. So I don't know.
Sincere two blocks against Texas.
Yeah, Sincere can jump, dude. I text you that the missed free throw. He goes out, gets his own rebound, and he jumped over everybody to try to slam that ball back down. That was impressive.
He went to St. Vincent, St. Mary's. He's an ex-LeBron. We talked about this a lot. I mean, it's clear they're essentially the same player.
Body type's about the same. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Other notes and quotes. 10 offensive rebounds this game. They won the rebounding battle 37-33. They only had 8 turnovers. Of course, it was against Minnesota, so I don't know how much you put into that, but way better than their average of 13 this year. We already talked about the three-point shooting and such, but we've talked about on this podcast a lot about how they shoot 31% from three, and how it's 328th in the nation. But I thought it was interesting. Scott Ritchie was talking about them shooting 31% from three, and then somebody asked how many where do they rank in threes taken a game? And Illinois ranks 37th most threes in D1 basketball.
Pretty
while
good.
Shooting 300, why they're 300 and whatever in percentage.
305th now. They're going up. Moving on up.
All right. So Brad Underwood's post game. I just got a couple here, and then we'll move on to.
This is the longest we've ever spent on a game, I think. Yeah, it's Minnesota. That is amazing.
We've been talking a lot. It's the get right game. We're getting right. So
the comments are blowing up.
That's true. We got a lot of people hanging out with us, so we appreciate y'all. Underwood said, "quote glad to be going home with a win. I think they were at home, but maybe he meant back to his house." He said, "Minnesota played great. It's a really talented offensive team. I thought we got off to a great start. If you use the word trap game, this was probably one. So I was concerned about our energy. Had a little 2 to 3 minute lull where we took 5 tough ones in a row." Then he was asked about the schedule and all that stuff coming up. Underwood, probably not very happy with having to make this game up right in between Indiana and Northwestern. And he said, quote, "It's been on," well, they were going to ask what he's going to do. And he said, "It's been one of my main thoughts all day, what to do tomorrow. That's the downside of this game. We had strep throat cases and a concussion, and we could have been resting." So he's not very happy that, Ty Rodgers had strep throat this game and last game, I guess. I don't know. Everybody has strep throat. I don't know what they're doing to all get strep throat together, but okay. But yeah, so it just kind of sucks that during this stretch, they should have played Saturday, then they played Thursday. They had to play this game in between. My wife's last night, she's like, "Minnesota's playing again?" I'm like, "Yeah, they had COVID. They ruined everybody's schedule." So
there's no conference in the country that has coaches that bitch more about the schedules in the Big Ten.
That's because the schedule in the Big Ten is the worst in the country.
It is, yeah. Kevin Willard does it better than anybody, I think. Where Maryland has 2 road wins this year, and they're against Minnesota and Nebraska or something. Yeah. And then Willard blames that on the Big Ten schedule. So it's kind of funny. I think let's see, they have no, sorry, their road wins are even better. Their road wins are Minnesota and Louisville. Pretty good for Maryland. That's and then they have a road loss at Nebraska and Michigan State and Purdue and Iowa and Rutgers and Michigan and Wisconsin. They're 2-9 on the roads. Kind of funny. So glad that Illinois had to go to College Park this year instead of playing them at home.
Mars man, what's going on? New chatter, I think. Gonna need a good Harris and Rogers against Northwestern, and Leaves fouls are going to come in handy against Dickinson and Edey. Do you think it was weird that Brad Underwood plays Brandon Lieb against Indiana on the road, but when there's foul trouble against Minnesota at home, Lieb doesn't touch the court?
I think it's because Garcia's not like a real center.
Yeah, he
Doesn't
probably
play in the
would
paint.
suck on defense against them.
But I guess you do have Pharrell Payne, who kind of is that. He's only 6. He's shorter than Garcia, but I think he plays the interior more. Garcia is much more of like he can score around the rim, but mid range he's pretty comfortable, and he can knock down some triples here and there. I mean, he is shooting 34% from 3, which not that bad. He also played 16 games for North Carolina last year. How about that?
Wow.
Yep. So
can you guys hear my dog whining?
Yep.
I don't know what he's doing. He's laying on the couch whining.
What can you do? So, are we done with Minnesota?
We are done. That was 40 minutes of Minnesota. What are we doing?
Ooh, Jesus.
Enjoy.
That was. If you're a Minnesota fan, you might have had a good time talking.
Here comes 5 minutes of a Northwestern preview.
Yep. Here we go. Illinois, Northwestern tonight, 8:00. Big Ten Network. Northwestern is 20-7 overall, 11-5 in the Big Ten. Illinois 18-9, 9-7 in the Big Ten. So Thursday night game should be a lot of people in the stands for this one. Good crowd, hopefully. It's a bit weird to see Northwestern being 11-5 in the Big Ten, but they're another team that hasn't done a ton of damage on the road, which I think shows kind of the better teams in the Big Ten can get some big road wins. Northwestern does have a road win at Indiana, but that was also early January Indiana.
Yeah, and their other one that was even remotely good was probably what? Michigan State super early.
December 4th.
Yeah.
Their other ones are Wisconsin, Ohio State, and Nebraska, which are just ones you have to win.
Yeah.
As Illinois probably loses to Ohio State Sunday. So, but yeah, Northwestern better than expected for sure. I don't know if I was wrong about Boo Buie. I guess I probably was, but like, what do you want me to do? It's just like I'm not. The whole country hadn't heard of the guy until this season, and now they're like, "Oh my god, his name is so awesome."
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I mean, Boo's been hot lately. I mean, he's playing well. 17 points, 3.5 boards, 4.5 assists. So
yeah, good for him. Who cares?
He's definitely playing better, but he's like 27 years old. So
it's true. Illinois or Northwestern is 11-5 in the Big Ten and 8-2 since January 23rd. They are 3-1 on the road in that span. Like I said, though, Wisconsin, Ohio State were 2, and I think Nebraska might have been the other one of their road wins in that stretch. So do with that what you will.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a lot of their hype right now is 3 home games against Purdue, Indiana, and Iowa. So
I mean,
get them on the road.
Illinois got murdered at home against Indiana, but to be fair,
I agree. So you got to find a way to score against Northwestern. I don't know who's going to step up and be that guy.
I think you need to make threes. They're 118th in the country at guarding the 3.
Yeah. RJ for a bunch of threes tonight. RJ and Goody.
Yep.
Combined for 12 threes. Illinois wins this.
Maybe sneak Ty Rodgers out there and make a couple. Dane Danger? Who is more likely to make a 3? Dane Danger or Ty Rodgers?
It's got to be Ty Rodgers. Hold on. Dane Danger left-handed. Probably better.
Yeah. They've won 3 straight at home going into this one. Like you said, they've won or they have 3 or 4 on the road to finish the season. COVID, how are you? They shot 7 for 18 from 3 against Illinois in the first game. They were 10 for 35 from 2, which is 28%, and 32 for 40 from the free throw line. 40 shots this is ridiculous. 1.04 points per possession against Illinois. So Illinois lost that game by 13, but it was obviously much closer. Now Illinois had a lead early in the second half.
And they gotta have a game plan of their biggest thing has been guards, and them getting to the basket and then fouling. And Northwestern maybe has 2 of the best in the Big Ten right now with
Sure.
Audige and Bowie, at least getting to the basket, creating space, drawing fouls, and Illinois has to find a way to combat that. So
certainly. Yeah, they're definitely a defensive first team. Like from every perspective of metrics and all that, they are much better on the defensive end than the offensive end, and it's kind of been that way for a while. This is 3 straight years and 4 of 5 where their offense has been significantly a couple of years ago, and last year wasn't that significant, or last year wasn't that significant, a couple of years ago, whatever. But their defense traditionally has been much better than their offense. I think you look back to 2017, the one time they made the tournament, got to the second round, they had the 32nd ranked adjusted defensive efficiency. And then they were a 6-spot difference. They were better on defense in 2018. 2019, they were 204th on offense and 19th on defense. 2020 was an outlier. They were 150th on defense, 131st on offense. But then 2021, they were 132nd on offense, 37th on defense. Last year, they were 101st and then 73rd on defense. So Chris Collins' team's much better defensively typically. I mean, no season shows that more than his first season there, where they were 288th on offense and 23rd on defense. So that's kind of what they do. And KenPom numbers there, just to give a shout out there. Anyway, Northwestern projected lineup. Yeah, Boo Buie guarding or at the 1. I really wish that Ty Rodgers or Sincere Harris could shoot, because I would love to see them start and play defense against him. I guess
Epps' defense has been fine.
Yeah, but I just want to see a real look, their 3 guards are small. So if Shannon can't go tonight, do you start Sincere or Rodgers? I mean, I know he won't, but do you do that over RJ? I mean,
I don't see that happening. I think RJ's defense is better than Sincere's, honestly.
But on like a 6'3"
lengthwise. Yeah, that's true.
I'd rather see Sincere Harris guard Ty Berry than RJ.
I don't know, because Ty Berry's a 3-point shooter, and RJ has the length to disrupt that.
But I think any of their 3 guards could get around him.
Fair.
Boo Buie had 23 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists in their win over Iowa. Guy's a fraud. Ty Berry, 6'3" guard, 2 games in double figures over his last 9. He had 16 points against Iowa when Fran got thrown out. Good for him. And then Iowa just completely laid over against Wisconsin to help the Big Ten get to 9 bids last night.
Nice.
Chase Audige, 6'4" guard, 12 threes in his last 5 games. So he'll probably make like 10 tonight. They got Robbie Barron at the 4, 6'9", 2 for 13 from 3 in his last 3 games, which obviously means he's going to go like 5 for 7. Very Miller Kopp-esque in this game tonight, which Miller Kopp obviously is a former Northwestern player for teams that sucked at Northwestern. And they got Matthew Nicholson at the 5, 7-footer, 7.6 rebounds. Not a big minutes guy. So the Illinois is starting like a quote unquote real center in this game. They didn't do it in the first game because they had the Sky Clark, Terrence Shannon.
And that was kind of that game was early enough that I think that was when Illinois was just starting to change this.
You know what? They did have Sincere starting in that game. He only played 9 minutes.
Yeah.
So you got 42 combined minutes from Epps and Sky, and then Sincere played 9, but he started. They did have Dane just start. Okay, I guess I completely forgot when this game was. But anyway, there's a lot of differences still with Illinois between now and then. And Illinois, got whatever they wanted from 2 in this game pretty much. They were 50% inside the arc. It was 8 for 28 from 3, and obviously 30 less free throw attempts kind of hurt them in that game. They had 13 assists in this game. In that first game, 13 assists on 23 field goals. That's pretty good. Shannon had 7, but they turned the ball over 15 times, which I think hurt them a lot. Northwestern had 11 steals. I mean, you can't let that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's we talked about a lot the free throws. You hold Boo Buie to 2 of 13 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3, and then let him get 11 from the free throw line. So
disgusting is what that is.
Yeah, the Illinois has to play without fouling in this game to have a chance.
Ken Palm, adjusted offense, Illinois 50th, Northwestern 101st. So you think Illinois' offense is bad analytically, then check this one out. Adjusted defense is where it's close. Illinois 29th, Northwestern 22nd. Adjusted tempo, Illinois 65th, Northwestern 285th. I wonder if Illinois tries to get out and run tonight. I don't know how effective that would be. I still think Northwestern would be able to turn them over.
Yeah.
Overall on Ken Palm, Illinois 28th, Northwestern 42nd.
Yeah. Zach says Sincere wants to make up for his technical at Welsh Ryan. Marsman says Illini need to run Chase and Boo ragged on the offensive side, run Ty Harris, Luke, and RJ at them on defense. Meyer, Coleman, and Epps get us 50 points. And if the Illini score 70, they win. That's pretty close to what I think. Steve's predicting a 71-63 Illinois victory. It's bold. 5.5-point favorites, by the way. So
that's questionable.
Yeah. But players, whoa, spoiler alert. Sorry. Players to watch. Don't worry. I just showed the predictions on accident.
Jesus. It's over.
I went with RJ. See if he can continue to keep going. Like I said, his shooting performance was not spectacular. I know that he got a 3 to fall, and everybody's like, "Oh, RJ got a 3 to fall." Pretty sure he made a 3 at the end of the. What game did he make a 3 at the end of? Where we said he was back.
Penn State game.
Yeah, he made that, and nobody said, he's back then except for us. And look where we are now. Then I'm gonna go with Boo Buie. There's been some talk in the chat. Who's gonna drop a season high against Illinois? You got to stop Boo Buie right now. He is playing out of his mind. The last few games, 23 points, 21 points, 26 points, 19 points. So you got to stop Boo Buie. I think this is a game where you say you hold Boo Buie under 15, you got a good shot of winning this. So
look into the free throw line too many times for that to happen.
Very true.
Yeah, historically hasn't been very good against Illinois in terms of efficiency. That's why I talked about him the way that I have.
Illinois shut him down. I mean, for the last 18 years or however long he's been there. So
there's a reason why people will call me a hater of him. It's just because when I watch him play the most is against the squad that I am rooting for, and he hasn't been good against them. And he wasn't good in the first game this season either. I don't care how many points he had. They were all at the effing free throw line. And also, this Barstool Northwestern account is run by like an 11-year-old who's an idiot. I mean,
it's probably ran by that kid that was crying after they lost to Gonzaga.
Talking like so much shit.
Beats by Grant says, just now joining. Any updates on TSJ? Underwood yesterday said that he's day-to-day. We talked about it earlier. I don't think Underwood's not going to let it out if he's playing or not. We're not going to know until he gets on the court and plays. So Northwestern
fan base or whatever the Barstool Northwestern account represents for them, their first reaction to being in the top 25 is, where's Illinois?
Yeah.
Sick. I mean, nobody cares about that poll. But to be fair, they have gotten just as far in the tournament in the last 5 years as Illinois has. So to be fair, if you want to be fair. Illinois is never, like, tonight would be great for them to just blow a team out. It's just never going to happen with this team.
They can't, but Illinois can't put teams away, it seems like.
The only teams that they can beat by more than 20 are the literal worst teams in the country that also the same teams that beat Iowa. And Michigan. Yeah. So great. Yeah. I'm going Jaden Epps. I think they're going to need Epps to continue to make some shots like he did in the last game. He'll probably have Boo Buie guarding him, and obviously Northwestern probably guards as well as anybody in the Big Ten, I would say, especially from a perimeter perspective with those three guys. So I obviously think Meyer is going to be a huge factor tonight, especially if Shannon's not out there. And then I'm also going Ty Berry because I think Ty Berry is probably going to have like 25 tonight. Yeah, it's going to be annoying, and it's going to be one of those things that you got to deal with.
Yeah, you gotta stop Tiberi from making threes. Illinois talks about it. We talk about it. They love forcing tough twos. Northwestern loves taking tough twos. So limit that, and you got a chance to win. I think that Illinois has to shoot over 30% from three probably to win this game too. So how many threes over under? How many threes Illinois shoots tonight?
23.5.
I'll take the over.
Yeah,
easy on that. So
they're going to take at least 30.
Yeah, I'm going to say over under would be like 26 for me.
No, 23.5.
Predictions. I think I'm kind of with the guys that have been talking in the chat. I think if Illinois gets to 70, they win this game. But I'm going to take them winning 68-64. This is I don't want to say this is a must-win game because in my eyes, every game's a must-win when you play college basketball. But this would be a huge confidence booster game. If you end up losing, you end up losing. I don't think it matters in the end. But to get some confidence into these guys is what Illinois needs right now. And to beat quality teams is what they need. So I think they get a win and the confidence gets going and they get hot. I mean, what are we? 2 weeks away from Big Ten tournament? Insane.
Yep. Yeah, I'm taking Illinois to lose. I mean, show me. It's the show me spot. Show me you can win. Show me you can win this game. I've been picking them to lose for a while now. I mean, I picked them to beat Minnesota, but I picked them to lose against Indiana. I think I might have had them beating Iowa, though, so that was kind of dumb. So whatever. 66-64, Northwestern. Boo-booey floater in the lane to win.
Hater.
Push off, no call.
Push off, no call.
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
There's no way they no call that again. No way. You
can't just sit there and be like, especially on the road, but you can't just sit there and be, well, it's at Illinois, so you never know. You can't just sit there and be like, well, we got to bounce back on Sunday because I think you need Ohio State to beat Penn State tonight to feel that way. Because Ohio State has lost 13 of 14, I believe. And I mean, they're not good though. So it's like, yeah, they haven't been winning, but like they're terrible. Like they have a lot of talent, but also Zed Key's out for the year. So Dane Danger 20-20 game. I mean, probably not. I think they have like a 6'11" freshman that blocks shots that'll probably be playing the 5 for them unless they go small. But anyway, show me you can win. That's the only reason I'm picking against Illinois. One of the only reasons. I think my shit talk of Boo Boo over the last few years is gonna come back to bite
catching
me
up to
this year. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but what can you do? I mean, you're gonna win some, lose some in that regard. In the Barstool Northwestern account, I mean, I can't think of a more embarrassing account for a college basketball team to look at, with the exception of maybe Barstool, Alabama over the last few days. We don't have to get into that. Which it is kind of weird to. Anyway, whatever. Just win tonight. I mean, maybe they'll win, maybe they'll lose. Either way, the sky is falling if they lose. So
if you win, I mean, you still got a chance of the double bye. If you lose, you're looking at playing on Thursday, maybe Wednesday if they, fall completely off the map and Tomagachi keeps
Wednesday
away.
Wednesday would be
for Nebraska.
A tough seat. I mean, how would that even happen? I mean, I guess there's so many teams that are 9-7.
Yeah. Watch party. I was just looking at the schedule. This is my last night of pool league, so we could do next Thursday against Michigan. I don't know if you want to do
that. It's a tough one. That's a tough call.
But we'll see.
I think
we gotta get one more in. I can't do Sunday, so
if they win these two, then I think that
we'll do that one
likely.
Okay.
Even if they, I guess 1-1, but whatever. I mean, Michigan. Who cares about Michigan? They're please.
Yeah, I don't want to hear you cussing out Hunter Dickinson and then round ball comes after us.
Oh, please! I hope they do. That podcast will not exist after this season, by the way. So they will be done. I mean, Dickinson it's kind of hard to not blame the podcast for why Michigan's bad. Or has been bad. Like he's done a lot of shit talking and then never backs it up. Like everything he said about Wisconsin, and then they lose to Wisconsin, and then talking smack about other schools and they lose. It's just like I don't know.
Steve said, "What is your Fargo rating pool?" I'm not that kind of pool player. It's just a little fun league that we play in. So I have no handicap in pool or whatever that is. I don't even know what that is. So we just play to have a good time. So, but anyways, look at that. Oh, got to shout them out. I shouted them out last time they won. My brother's playing for the sectional championship tonight in Lexington, wherever that is.
Kentucky.
Mount Pulaski girls. Good luck tonight at sectionals. They play St. Thomas More, I believe. So should be a banger, as he says. If you're bored and you live by Bloomington, go check out that game. Because Illinois is going to lose, so who cares?
All right. Yeah, that'll do it for us. We'll be back before the Ohio State game for episode 150.
150. Holy cow.
Don't screw this. Don't screw us over tonight. Just win the ball game. All right.
Win, please.